Hello everyone, it's the Mass Performer, and we're back with another Yu-Gi-Oh video. Today, I'm making a video on Yugi Muto's Real Ace. This video idea came from TGS Anime and his series on Yu-Gi-Oh characters' Real Aces because I disagree with his statement on Yugi Muto's Real Ace. So we all know Yugi Muto. We all know him, and we all know his ace monster, Dark Magician. Except, I don't think Yugi Muto's ace monster is Dark Magician. That's because Dark Magician is Yami Yugi's ace monster. If you don't know the difference, these two are two different people kinda inhabiting the same body. It's weird. You have to watch the original Yu-Gi-Oh! To understand, but these are two different people. And their ace monster throughout most of the series is Dark Magician. But the real problem with this is Yugi's deck at the end of the series, he doesn't even use Dark Magician. He has a duel against Bakura, which we have no clue if Dark Magician is in that deck, and against Yami Yugi, who has Dark Magician. And what could his real ace be? Now, I made a community poll. Thank you for everybody who made a vote. And it's between these four cards, which 17% of you believe it's Dark Magician, 67% of you believe it's Gandora, and 16% of you believe it's either Silent Swordsman or Silent Magician. So these four are debatably Yugi Muto's ace. I'm going to go through each one of them and explain which one is his real ace and which one isn't. Starting with Dark Magician. Now, Yugi Muto himself has only used Dark Magician since the end of the original series, one duel. And that was Dark Side of Dimensions. And I'm going to already argue that even though this is supposedly his ace in Dark Side of Dimensions, this is not Yugi Muto's ace in this movie. Or in general. Because one, in this movie, he's kind of going through the emotions. He's remembering a Tem. He misses a Tem. And, well, here's his ace. And he knows how to play it. So, there's a high chance he's already just running Dark Magician support because Dark Magician. But there's also the fact he only uses it out of his 3 duels on screen in one of them. And that's against Kaiba. And he also faces... what's his name? I forgot the main villain's name. The cubic deck guys, Aigami, twice. And he doesn't use Dark Magician or any Dark Magician related cards once. I personally don't believe it's Dark Magician. Even at the end of the original series, against his duel with Bakura, there was Gandora, who, if I'm correct, it was T. Gardner, I may have said that wrong, I'm so sorry, who stated that this was Yugi's real ace, and that his deck is differing from a 10. And, you know, Gandora is such the easy pick. Gandora's obvious. It's the big O dragon. So we would have Yugi with a dragon, Kaiba with a dragon, Joey with a dragon. It has a really good effect to just wipe your opponent's field and gain attack points for every card wiped. But I don't think this is Yugi's ace. No, this is his boss monster. Why do I say that? Well, an ace monster is typically a monster you're fine with getting out on the first turn. Gandora, you never want to get out on that first turn. Because Gandora sends itself to the graveyard at the end of the turn due to its maintenance cost. It also has 0 attack and defense. And it needs more cards in the field in order to activate its effect and be really useful. And I don't believe Gandora really fits well with Ace Monster. He fits really well with Boss Monster. He is a boss monster, especially in the series. There's also the fact he only uses Gandora 3 times. Bakura, where he uses it to finish off Bakura. He uses it against Yami-Yugi, but Yami-Yugi negates it. And then the third time, it was up against Seto Kaiba in Dark Side of Dimensions, but that was Gandora X for 1. 2, it also got almost immediately destroyed. And although that one's a lot closer to being an ace, I don't think Gandora quite fits ace as it more does boss. The next one is Silent Swordsman. Now, he's also been used in all of these duels. He used it against Yami Bakura, being the card he's basically, I believe, had since almost turn 1. He used it against Atem, which he really did. It was used for a good chunk of the Atem duel, so that's pretty good. And in Dark Side Dimensions, he discards it against Aigami, which is a whole different discussion because, well, it lowers a monster's attack points by 2,300, meaning it would be Silent Swordsman level 5, but Silent Swordsman starts with 1,000 attack, so I have questions. That's a different video. However, I don't believe this one to be his ace either, due to the fact that this card doesn't really get used to the best of its abilities, in my opinion. I also just don't feel like it's really a Yugi ace card. A warrior monster for Yugi, I just don't feel like fully works. He's never really been a warrior type person from what I can tell, besides Gaia. And there's also just the fact that its effect is kind of okay. Like, I don't feel like this reflects Yugi the best. I feel like it's the weakest out of all of them. And its effects needing your opponent to draw a card, during every standby phase. I believe only during Yugi's standby phases it gains attack, to not be the best. Which leaves us with what I believe is Yugi's real ace. Silent Magician. Why Silent Magician? 1, Cards of Sanctity. As we all know, this card was used really well against that one duel, just gaining a ton of attack points. And I feel like Yugi could easily make a deck to make his opponent draw cards to make Silent Swordsman stronger. It also, I'm using the anime art because black and red, this not only, it's the same color as Gandora, which would be fitting because the ace and boss would have the same color scheme, but also black and red is normal Dark Magician's main artwork, which this kind of reflects. It's also female, like Dark Magician Girl. And I just feel like Silent Magician just fits the criteria the best. Like, this feels like it could be an ace monster out of all of them. The real problem is with arguing this is the fact it's only ever used in one duel. And that duel is up against Yami-Yugi. So he never used it in Bakura's duel. He never uses it in Dark Side Dimension. However, he probably is running it, or a version of it in Dark Side Dimension, considering he's running Silent Swordsman. So why do I think it's Silent Magician? Well, 1, Dark Side Dimension. Of course, they're going to make Dark Magician mostly the main focus. But also, there just isn't enough time to establish what his ace really is. I already established Silent Swordsman doesn't make the most sense. I also stated that Gandora fits more as a boss monster. And even Dark Magician, Yugi would just be following Yami-Yugi. So really, and Silent Magician has one other importance. What I think makes me believe it's Yugi Muto's ace. And that is the fact that this is the card he beats Yugi with. Atem with, I mean. This is the last card ever played in the original Duel Monsters. This card might just be one of the most important. As we all know, the most famous monster is Blue Eyes, which I believe was the first card ever shown in Yu-Gi-Oh! That is Season 1, not Season 0. And Silent Magician is the last card ever seen in the game. I just believe if Yugi Muto's ace were to be declared something, it would be Silent Magician. There's also the fact that Silent Magician is one of the 2 cards in Duel Links, 3 cards in Duel Links that Yugi Muto in Dark Side of Dimensions and Duel Monsters and Duel Links has a summoning animation. The other ones being Dark Magician and Gandora. So yeah, me personally, I believe it to be Silent Magician. Of course, most of you disagreed with that. If you think it's Dark Magician, I understand. It makes the most sense. Silent Magician hasn't had the best time in the spotlight. And also Gandora, most of you think it's that, but I personally believe it to be a boss monster. It's really just Yugi's trying to get away from Dark Magician. Gandora fits more as a boss. Silent Swordsman is more of another card in the deck. It's just Silent Magician, to me, fits the best criteria as Yugi's ace. Argue with me all you want in the comments. I'm not letting go of this. When I run the Yugi deck, I'm declaring Silent Magician my ace. But that's all for this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. Peace. Well, I cannot believe I forgot to mention some other things that make me believe that the Silent Magician should be Yugi's ace. What I really forgot to bring up was the new pack that I talked about recently, something of destruction. I already forgot. I'm sorry, guys. But I wanted to mention some cards in that and the remake of Silent Magician. Now, Silent Magician's remake, or retrain, I should say, is called Silent Magician, 1000 attack, 1000 defense, like the original, and level 4. What's unique about this one, though, is that you contribute any spellcaster monster, meaning this card would be perfect in a Dark Magician deck, especially Yugi's. Meaning, if he really wanted to, he could run 2 ace monsters. He could run the original Dark Magician and what I believe his true ace is, Silent Magician. I wanted to mention that, and that maybe Gandora might finally become Yugi's real ace if we ever get anything else with him, due to the new playset featuring a Gandora retrain, which has the effect to destroy all monsters on the field and banish them, but it does not need to send itself to the graveyard. However, I would argue it's actually more support, because then it can special summon any level 4 monster from your deck, and then it gains a counter for every monster that got destroyed. Or every card that got destroyed, and guess who's a level 4 monster you can put counters on? Silent Magician. And I'd say that they are the better option for that. But yeah, that's all I wanted to add on real quick. I hope you all have a really nice day this time. Peace.